America has long struggled with how we establish equality while allowing freedom. And there has been a kind of a compromise and an approach on the Supreme Court that has held for a very long time until now. I'm talking to you about what is a new reality for millions of people in America, including LGBTQ Americans, because conservative lawmakers have been going after their rights, trying to break what I call that sort of compromise or equality precedent that we've historically had. Consider over 500 bills targeting these rights in over 40 states this year alone. And the context is not just what politicians might pass in their legislatures, but what the baseline equality requirements are in America, what is allowed. The Supreme Court has long played a role, even in divisive times, to uphold the right to the minorities, because, as we all know, if you just have a general vote on things, the majority may oppress the minority. That's kind of one of those things they teach very early on in, well, any school about government and court history. And yet, under this new conservative majority, we've been reporting on many things they've been doing. There's now this effort to basically take certain cases that then allow for something that the court hasn't said out loud it would allow in decades, which is business discrimination on the basis of identity. This was a 6-3 vote that basically said there's some discrimination that is now okay. And to be clear with you, for decades it was not. But this is saying that businesses can discriminate, period. Now, I want to also tell you that Justice Sotomayor authored a blistering dissent saying that there is now, for the first time in its history, that's the break with precedent I mentioned, a business constitutional right to refuse service to people in a protected class. That protected class reference is like saying a minority group. And she calls that a backlash to the equality movement and, in unusually stark, really almost emotive terms, says this new precedent, this new ruling is, quote, heartbreaking. I want to be clear about what we're living through because it comes in pieces and it's not always easy to see all at once. But these decisions that we're now living through are the court putting a thumb on the scale, breaking the precedent and changing what I referenced, that compromise approach, which is not that you have to think anything in America, not that you have to agree with anything. Indeed, we pride ourselves on the ability to debate and disagree. But since we took down, as a nation, those, quote, whites-only, quote, signs, since we took down Jim Crow discrimination, since we took down those horrific images, which in many schools are still taught as one of the low points of the way we live and how we should never live again, now, today, I'm telling you the news that the Supreme Court is saying you can put up similar signs. They don't happen to say whites only. They would say something like straights only, or whatever word you want to use. But the point is, for the first time in decades, as Sonia Sotomayor put it in her blistering dissent, we have the Supreme Court of the United States erecting and allowing new discrimination on the basis of identity. And cue the reaction around the country. Well, some people oppose the decision. Some businesses are going on as usual, meaning they're not going to change what they do. But others are seeing this as a license to do new legal discrimination. Take this hair salon in Michigan, which has announced they will refuse service to certain members of the LGBT community, posting online, this was days after the ruling, and saying they have the right to do it. And as a legal matter, depending on how they do it, well, this is exactly what the Supreme Court wrought. This is a very important story. It's one we've covered in more than one way. And tonight we turn to Chasten Buttigieg, the author of I've Got Something to Tell You, a memoir about growing up and discovering his own identity and his own life and how he wanted to live it in a place called Traverse City, Michigan. And that is the same town now under scrutiny over this particular choice by this particular business. And as many people know, and we mentioned this in the spirit of disclosure as covering the news, he's also married to Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Welcome to The Beat.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know this. You're right in it, geographically and otherwise. And I put the first question to you. We deliberately showed those signs that came down. Do you feel like this is, in a way, whatever word you use, straights only or whatever only signs being put back up? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think you touched on two really great points. You're free to have an opinion in this country, but you're not free to discriminate. You are less free in this country if you have to start looking up in a directory where you will receive service and where you won't. And the fact that this is happening right here in my backyard, I want to be very clear. I don't think this is representative of people in Traverse City, Michigan. We moved our family back here to Traverse City. I think it's a very inclusive community, and Traverse City wants to be on the right side of history. This is a town I ran away from when I was younger, convinced that I would never fit in, that I would never know community or family or love here. And now I love being here. I love seeing this community and progress, work towards that equality for everyone. And the outpouring of support for the LGBTQ community just in the last 24 hours after that Facebook post has been overwhelmingly supportive.
Yeah, I appreciate the point you're raising, and we try to be careful with it in the introduction, but you're reminding everyone the fact that one person, one place is doing this, right, doesn't tell us everything. And then our public response, we talk about free speech in this case, and I'm a big proponent of free speech. That's different than business discrimination. But people can go out on the street or in whatever forum and speak about this. Right now, a lot of the free speech, quite frankly, has been against the discrimination. I mentioned why it traffics in an ugly history. I also would like to get your response, having thought through so many of these issues, to the defense of the ruling that, for example, Justice Gorsuch makes. He puts it in the language of what he calls, quote, tolerance. And he says, tolerance, not coercion, is the answer. First Amendment envisions U.S. as a rich and complex place where all persons are free to think and speak as they wish, not as the government demands. Chasten, a careful reader of this text, and this is what you do in law school, might say, seems like he wants to get in on your side of it. He's talking about it like he's so tolerant, and yet there seems to be a problem with that on the discrimination front. What is your response?
Tolerance is a tricky word because what you're saying there is there might still be room for discrimination. I will tolerate your existence. I will tolerate the idea that some people might deny you service. This is just a question of freedom. Are you free to be LGBTQ in this country? Is it okay to receive services? Will you be turned away simply for how God made you? I believe that this is how God made me. There was no choice along the way. So it's very perplexing to see people like this salon owner put out statements that compare you to animals, wondering why this is the thing that you're honing in on as a business owner. And I think in that statement, yes, you are totally, absolutely allowed to have an opinion. And that is one of the great things about America is that you can speak freely and have an opinion. But again, an opinion is very different than discrimination.